Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Heart Metal Reviews here once again. It is that time of the month, time to go over my favorite metal albums that have been released this past month, my favorite metal albums of November 2022. It's another solid month, stacked full of great releases. Got a pretty good mix here, obviously. As per usual, black metal is my favorite subgenre, so that's going to dominate the list, but I got a little bit of everything else in between here as well. In conjunction with black metal, I've got some power metal albums, some traditional heavy metal, some progressive metal, death metal, doom metal, you name it, it's probably on here. I will say some bigger releases are not going to be on my list. There's definitely a few bigger name bands that put out albums this month, but I didn't necessarily love them. So you can take from that what you will. If you see something missing from here, that could be why, or it could be something that I didn't listen to. But as per usual, give me your picks down below. Let me know what your favorite releases from this month were. Let me know which ones you can't believe I didn't mention. I'm always looking for new stuff to check out. But anyways, yeah, I got about 17 albums this month that I want to talk about. So I'm just going to get right into this. Go check these albums out if you have not already. So kicking off the list, I'm going with Mist of Misery and their new album Severance. So this is some symphonic black metal from Sweden. Very piano-heavy black metal. I know that's not going to be for everyone. Symphonic black metal kind of gets hated on. But I think this album's really well done. It's very enjoyable. If you're into symphonic black metal at all, go check this band out. I had actually never heard of them before. This isn't their debut. I haven't heard their past material, but based on this album, I'm going to go check it out. It's a really solid album. Just cracking my list. Up next, switching it up completely, I'm going with Disillusion and their album Ayam. So this is some progressive death metal. Maybe a similar band would probably get some comparisons to like Opeth, although I don't think this is quite on the scale of Opeth, but just trying to give like a framework of what the sound could be considered. I mean, you got clean vocals, harsh vocals, progressive riffing. To be honest, I don't really love the vocals on this album. That's my knock. It kind of holds it back. But overall, like musically, this is a very solid album. It succeeds at what it's going for. Just for me personally, I don't love the vocals, but if you get past that, it is a pretty good album overall. So yeah, wanted to mention it anyways. Up next, talking about Ver. I'm not sure how to pronounce the band name. New album, Giants of Mirk. This is some atmospheric black metal, dark ambient, kind of all mixed together. They're actually from my home province of Manitoba up in Canada, but I know nothing about this band. This is the first time I heard of them as well. I think it's a one-man band. Actually, should not say them. It's just one person. But yeah, it's odd, hard to find any info about this group online, but this album is definitely worth checking out. If you're into black metal with some ambient tinges in there, it's really well done stuff here. This is a couple months in a row that there's been a release from my home province, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, in at number 15, go check out Ver if you have not. Up next at number 14, I'm going with Dream Unending and their new album Song of Salvation. So this is death doom, but really, like, that's a very loose term here. This is really more dreamy and spacey doom metal, like with hints of death metal in there. It's very unique. It is enjoyable. There's lots of like beautiful little passages. I personally like my death doom a little heavier than this. I feel like this album is maybe getting a ton of hype. I don't know if it's all of it is warranted. I think it's a very good album, but do I think it's like the best Death Doom album of the year? No, I don't even think it's the best Death Doom album of the month, to be honest. But nonetheless, it is worth checking out. I don't want it to sound like I'm hating on this. This is still a solid album. I mean, I'm putting it on my albums of the month list. For me personally, I like something a little bit heavier, but this is still a very beautiful album. Definitely worth listening to. Up next at number 13, I'm going with Arallu and their new album, Death Covenant. So this is some blackened death metal from Israel. So you hear Israel, probably a band that's going to come to mind is Malist, and this is very much in the same style as that. If you're into Malist, you'll probably get some enjoyment out of Arallu. I don't quite think this is on the same level as Malist, but nonetheless, there's some really interesting riffs, kind of bringing in that Middle Eastern flavor to some of the riff stylings. But yeah, if you like blackened death metal with a little bit of a twist, definitely go check this album out. It's pretty enjoyable stuff. Up next at number 12, I'm going with Ultar and their new album At the Gates of Dusk. So this is some post-black metal from Russia. Features members from Grima, I'm never sure how to pronounce the band name, but you'll recognize the vocals right away if you've listened to Grima before. It's the same vocalist, got that high-pitched rasp, but it really suits this well. Like, overall, this is a super enjoyable album. It gets labeled as post-black, but I mean, there's a lot of thrashy, faster black metal parts on here too, so don't just think that it's like that post-black label gets thrown around a lot on that. I don't know, as it's always warranted. I mean, call this black metal, whatever you want. There's obviously some different influences going on here, but yeah, overall, pretty solid album you should go check out. Up next at number 11, I'm going with In the Woods and their new album Diversum. So of course, this is a legendary band from Norway. Not much in the way of original members anymore other than the drummer. Got a brand new vocalist for this album. I mean, In the Woods kind of started out as a more like avant-garde black metal band. These days, there's maybe hints of black metal in there, but this is more like progressive doom metal, progressive doom rock, kind of their own take on it. Like, there's still some harsh vocals, but most of it's clean vocals. And this is just an enjoyable, like, easy to listen to record. Maybe it's not super unique. They're not like breaking down walls and barriers between genres like they did back in the day. But nonetheless, if you just want like a proggy doom rock record, well, this one's pretty good. It checks the boxes on that. Maybe it's not super standout, but it is enjoyable. Just missing out on my top 10, but number 11 ain't too bad either. Okay, now we're into the top 10, my 10 favorite albums from the month of November. So just cracking that top 10, I'm going with Iron Kingdom and their new album, The Blood of Creation. So this is some traditional heavy metal from BC, Canada. Huge Iron Maiden influence here for sure, and this is just full of solid, catchy metal anthems. Sheathe the Sword, like, I dare you to listen to that and not sing along instantly. Sheathe the sword, sheathe the sword. It's just fucking awesome stuff here. Really great guitar licks, catchy vocal, like vocal hooks, vocal lines, whatever you want to call it. Just, yeah, all in all, solid traditional heavy metal album. Probably an underrated one. Go check it out if you haven't heard of them. Up next at number 9, I'm going with Eye of the Trees and Wind, with the debut album Cry of the Forest. So this is an international atmospheric black metal project. The vocals on here are so vicious, and it is a female doing the vocals, which you can't really tell by listening to it. It's so well done. I would say if you're into bands like Summoning or Luster, like more on the beautiful side of atmospheric black metal, you'll probably get some enjoyment here, like minimalistic riffs with a lot of synth and keyboards, but then vicious black metal vocals. And I really dig this album. Could even rise higher than number 9 once I spend more time with it. But yeah, probably another underrated one. If you haven't heard Eye of the Trees and Wind, do yourself a favor and go check it out. It's a solid, awesome release. Up next at number 8, I'm going with Estrangement and their debut album Disfigurementality. So this is some funeral doom mixed with neoclassical. They're from Australia. This is a really strange, weird album, but it's very engaging and it's really good. Like, there's so many different things going on here. You've got neoclassical elements with like violin and contrabass. There's flutes thrown in. There's even like throat singing, like, oh, like, I don't know how to fucking do it. But then at the same time, on the contrast, it brings in just like the heaviest doom metal, like low-ass vocals, slow pace, just death doom, funeral doom, but then mixed with all these different elements. It's a truly engaging listen. Another one that could probably rise higher as I spend more time with it. This one did just come out this last week. But yeah, definitely go check out Estrangement's Disfigurementality if you want to strap yourself in for an hour of just depression and heaviness. Really awesome stuff here. Definitely go give it a listen. Up next at number 7, I'm going with Kampfar and the new album Till Klovers Takt. So this is pagan black metal from Norway at its finest here. Like, this band's been around for a long time. Super underrated and underappreciated band, in my opinion. They have, like, never really have released a bad album, in my opinion. Like, they never disappoint. And this album is no exception to that rule. Just solid all the way through. Super enjoyable black metal from start to finish. Super underrated band. Definitely go check out their whole discography, but check out the new one as well. Up next at number 6, I am going with Jade and their debut album, The Pacification of Death. So this is some like atmospheric death doom. This is an international project. And yeah, overall, this album is great. My one nitpick would be some of the clean vocals are a little bit strange. It's got like this weird echo on it. It's honestly what they're going for, but I could lose that in here. I feel like the songs would actually be better without it. But if I look past that, the harsh vocals are great. The riffs are great. Like, this is old school death metal through like a doom lens, but with a lot of added atmosphere. It's really unique, but I really love it. I love the guitar tone on here. Like, yeah, awesome stuff here. A few nitpicks aside, but go check out Jade's album if you have not. All right, now we're into the top 5. My 5 favorite albums from the month. Just cracking that list in at number 5, I'm going with Malist and their new album, As I Become Darkness. So this is some Russian black metal, one-man band, super well executed album, just full of great black metal riffs. The vocals are vicious. Absolutely love this. My introduction to the band was on their last album, actually. I really dug that, and I think this one might even improve upon that as well. Really solid stuff. Go check it out if you're into black metal. Up next at number 4, an album I did a review of, and that is Ueldes with their new album Foreverer. So this is some atmospheric black metal, another one-man band from Slovenia. This band used to be called Ueldes, but he changed the name to Ueldes. It follows in the same footsteps as Ueldes. Like, if you've heard them, you know what you're in for here. Just really beautiful atmospheric black metal. Like, there's so much beauty buried within this. There's still the harsh tones with the vocals, but overall, like, this is very gorgeous black metal, easy listening black metal, you could even say. But yeah, for more details, go check out my full review. But all in all, pretty solid album in at number 4. Up next at number 3, one that caught me completely by surprise. I've never even heard of this band before, Orphique, with their album Consecration, Cadaverique. So this is some melancholic black metal from Quebec, Canada, and it's got that typical French black metal sound, like French-Canadian black metal sound, that is. Think of bands like Fortress, Sorcier de Glace, and like, wow, I had never heard of these guys. This album came out and it just floored me. This is awesome stuff here. Like, in time, this could even rise higher. This is potentially going to be on my year-end list. We'll see. But yeah, awesome stuff. Can't recommend this one enough. If you have not heard it, do yourself a favor and go check it out. 2 more to go. In second place, another album that I just did a review of, and that is Judicator with their new album, The Majesty of Decay. So Judicator is a power metal band from the USA, but with this album, they have really amped up the progressive influences, and this is completely different than a lot of stuff they've done before. There's still hints of their core sound, but they have really thrown you for a curveball, but it's so well done, so well executed. I really dig this album a lot. You're going to be singing along to these songs. There's jazzy parts, there's progressive parts, there's straight ahead power metal parts. Like, there's so many influences going on here, and it just really works. Go check out The High Priestess for a taste of something off the beaten path, but that is so goddamn good and catchy. Yeah, once again, for more details, go check out the full review I just did. But all in all, really awesome album in at number 2. So that just leaves one, my favorite album of the month. Although I've mentioned a lot of great albums here, this was actually a pretty easy choice. In my opinion, this one blew the rest out of the water. This was just an amazing release. Of course, maybe my shirt's giving it away. I'm talking about Drudkh with their new album, All Belong to the Night. So wow, yeah, Ukrainian black metal legends never disappoint, solid discography, and wow, this album just came out at the right time for me personally. There's so much sorrow on this album and anguish, but yet it's hopeful at the same time. I had a little bit of a rough month, and this album really got me through it, and I've been listening to this nonstop. It's just so powerful and emotional, just the way I like my black metal. It's only 4 tracks, it's 45 minutes long, and it just takes you on a journey. It's so well done. This one is most definitely showing up on my year-end list. The only question is how high. Every single song here really hits the mark. All 4 tracks, just flawless stuff. One of my favorite bands, so maybe I'm biased, but nonetheless, this album kicks ass. If you haven't checked it out, do yourself a favor and go listen to it right goddamn now. Anyways, these are just my thoughts and opinions as usual. Love to get yours down below. Like I said earlier, let me know what your favorites of the month are. And until next time, Hammer Heart Metal Reviews, out.